In this series of videos, we are going to talk about labeling our projects. In the sample that I'm going to show you, this represents my landscape. So I have this big, long serpentine pathway that in an additional video, I show you how I make it with the hardscape tool. All of this brown area represents planting area, and all of this green area represents a big swath of ornamental grass. So to label this project, we are going to learn about two tools. The first one is the text tool. The second is the callout tool. And we're also going to be learning about something called text styles, which allow you to format text so that you can use that same format consistently throughout your project. The first tool that we're going to take a look at for labeling is located over here in the basic tool set, and that is the text tool. The shortcut for the text tool is just the one key. And now let's take a look at the mode bar. Your first mode over here is for horizontal mode. And so when I click anywhere in the drawing, my text is automatically going to be horizontal. So let's just label this area planting area. All right, there we go. And another thing that I should tell you about the text is that there's two different ways to place it in the drawing. The first way that I just clicked once in the drawing and then start typing. The second way I can add a text box to a drawing is just to click and drag, and what that does is it sets the width of that text box that you just entered. So let's look at what that looks like. So you can see I've now set the width of that text box. The widths can always be changed after the fact by using the selection tool. So now you can see that I have all of these handles that I can click and drag, and the same thing is true over here for the text that I placed in as a single line of text. The main difference is that a single line of text does not wrap, whereas a block of text does wrap. Next up, let's take a look at the second mode that we have. It's the rotated mode. And to use the rotated mode, what I do is I just click and then drag in the direction that I want the angle of the text to be. And then you may have noticed already, but every time that I click with the text box into my drawing, that the perimeter of that text box is purple, and that means that I'm in edit mode and I can start typing. If I go ahead and I hit escape, then I've exited that edit mode for the text, and you can see over here that I now have the normal orange highlighting that you would see for any object that you have selected in your drawing. If you want to edit text that you've already entered into your drawing, you can either, with the text tool selected, you can either click the text field that you want to edit, or with the selection tool, you can double click the text field and it'll go back into that purple edit mode. The next mode that I have over here in the mode bar is the type fill mode. I'm just going to type in path. Notice that there's a lot of detailed line work behind the word path, and it can be a little bit difficult to read. So what I can do is I can come over here in the attributes palette and change this from none to solid. And then it just gives me a background, and I tried to make the background color the same color as my path. And so I'm going to make a copy real quick and show you the difference between using that type fill option and not using that type fill option. I'm going to take this one and actually add some more words because I think it'll demonstrate this a little bit better. So path and black brick. And not only will we add more words, but we're going to do a return. And so what you see right here is that the black outline or that dark gray fill that's behind my words, when you have type fill selected, it just follows those words closer. Whereas if I copy this again, and then I come over here to the object info palette, I can go ahead and I can either select or deselect type fill at any point that I want over here in the object info palette. So let's deselect that. So type fill just allows that fill to closely cut around the text, whereas having it deselected, the fill color is going to fill in that whole entire text block. I also have the option to come over here and change the pen color for this as well. So I think I'll go ahead and lighten that up, and hopefully it'll be a little easier to read. Yes, that looks better.